You good? All right, perfect. Hey, got a packed house. I'm telling you, you guys smelled that there were checks in the room ready to hand out, I think. There's got more people coming. It's good. We need a bigger room. That's okay. We'll just continue to grow. Jim and I got here early to set up. You know, we use this room for free. We've been doing it for years. This is one of the places we love because they give us a free room but the Monday nights is bingo night. So we have to put the bingo board away, the bingo hopper, you know, all that. You guys who's ever played bingo? Got those daubers? When they got those, you know, like fluorescent daubers. So back when I was teaching high school, every sport, I was a baseball coach as well, so every sport had to host, because that's how they raised money for the athletics, was bingo night once a week. So every sport had to, twice a year, each semester had to host bingo. And one night the caller, right, the bingo caller, when the balls come out, and it has a little thing, it comes out, and you call I-22, right, or whatever. There's a timer on there, and these ladies are very passionate about their bingo, by the way. Their daubers have like they got good luck charms on their daubers, you know what I mean, to help them win and all this kind of stuff, so it's very interesting. But they're very specific. You're supposed to call a number 6 seconds apart. Okay, 6 seconds to the T. And literally, if I did it 5.1 seconds, it was, you got a date you gotta go to, slow it down, right? They're like, oh, right? Or if I waited 6.8 seconds, they're like, come on, we don't got all night. I'm like, Jiminy, they know this thing down to, and you don't want to mess with these ladies, trust me. I reached down to one time when I was verifying, and I got my hand, I had like dauber stamps all over my hand. It's like, don't reach into my, they have the special situation, the way they lay out their bingo cards. It's big news. It's big news. So I haven't been here on bingo night here. I'll have to come check it out and see if it's that same way. So, hey, May is a great meeting. We love May because we call it our state of the company time, where we get to remind ourselves about who we are. And it's a good chance if sometimes agents bring other agents to come check us out. We are thrilled because we are growing like crazy, which is a good thing. Growing agent count-wise, growing transaction count-wise. It's all good. We're now, north of 1,400 agents in the company, and can just continue to grow in the system. You guys are doing a fantastic job. You really are. I'm thoroughly impressed every time I take a look at numbers and see how you guys are transacting your business. And we're lawsuit free right now, and all is great. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. David keeps us clean, don't you, David? Keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah.
Whenever possible. So it's all good. All right, we got a full slate, so let's roll through it. We'll roll through our vendor gauntlet, and we'll give you 38 seconds.
Okay. Jerry Papa, Gulfview Realty Property Management, your professional property and lease management company based in your offices in West Chase. I'm not going to talk about property management. I'm going to tell you 2 bits of information that you may want to park in the back of your brain. Whenever you take a extended release medication of any sort, and especially if it's an opioid like morphine, don't ever think that you can cut the pill in half and take half of that pill, because that's a good way to die, because it ingests that directly into your system immediately.
Interesting.
Number 2, don't ever think that you can stop opioids cold turkey, as I did a week ago last Friday, and Saturday I almost died because I went into convulsions, and I went into a state that I didn't think I was ever going to come back out of. And it's because I stopped taking my morphine that I take 3 times a day during this transition that I'm doing with my stem cell, and my gabapentin, which is worse than the morphine. And I did not realize, and of course I didn't talk to my doctor about this, that you cannot stop those things cold turkey without death. So when they talk about opioid addiction and people that either die or are near death, they're serious. This stuff is horrible, and God, I feel for the people that get hooked on this kind of stuff. I'm now on an official withdrawal program to wean myself off of the morphine and the gabapentin, but the good thing is 5 months into the stem cell, I am 80% free of pain on the left side of my body.
Good news.
And it's going to get better So.
Good deal. Perfect. Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's beautiful. Kev, what's up, man?
How are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Do not ever cut a pill if it's not scored. Okay,
If it's not scored?
I have a certification in psychopharmacology.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so don't ever cut a pill if it's not scored. If it's scored, it means you can be cut.
If it's not scored. Scored. S-C-O-R-D. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. All right.
If it isn't, it can't be cut.
Perfect. All right. Perfect. And don't ever melt it over a spoon with really hot stuff and inject it. Don't ever do that. So I've heard. All right.
Don't put it in a syringe.
That's right.
Unless
exactly.
it's already in a syringe.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, everyone. I'll be quick. Kevin Overstreet. I'm the owner of Insured Title Agency next door to your West Chase office. And we have a new office opening that is going to be open-ish this Friday. Please come to our grand opening party. That's on the 20th, 2 weeks from yesterday. And it's on the second floor of the Greater Tampa Realtors building. Very, very unique title agency office. You won't feel like you walked into a title agency. We have a green wall where we're going to be doing professional testimonials with you and your clients and sending those to you after closings. The pictures are great at closing tables, but how about a video, since video is kind of everything? We also have a client lounge that's about a third the size of this room. It's going to be professionally staged for your people to hang out if there's a delay with anything. It won't be caused by us, but they do happen. And before that, at 1 p.m., 1 to 5 is our 31st to Become a Better Agent seminar. And please come to that. We're just about to close registration probably later today. Have to go to babaevent.com to register. You will learn how many of the sinkhole homes that are diving in value because of the sinkhole, pun intended, are actually not sinkhole homes. And we're going to show you how to make that a fact with the county and take those properties values back up for your clients. Also, many of the homes that are in flood zones are not in flood zones. And that's very easy to dispute, and we're going to show you how that happens. Also, a bunch of great marketing ideas and things like that. So, May 20th, be there. That's it. Thanks.
Awesome. Good deal. Perfect. We're going to come back to David because David's our resident attorney. He's going to tell you how we can continue to knock on wood and keep ourselves out of lawsuits. So, very good. Janelle, where Brian? There you guys. You guys got separated.
I asked if I could.
If you could, okay, you sit in the middle. Okay,
No,
perfect.
just kidding.
Perfect. Good deal. You are
Phil Evans.
Phil. You're an agent with us. What are you doing in?
They begged me to come over and sit down.
All right. You're going to get hounded. You're going to have.
That's all right.
You're going to have more title people, more
That's all right.
home warranty company. Okay, all right. You're good to go. You all right? If you need help, just raise your hand over here. All right, I'll come rescue them. All
Wait a
right.
minute, here's my card.
All right. So who's speaking for Old Republic?
You can.
All right, Janelle. How are you?
I'm great. How are
Good.
you?
Good to see you.
I'm Janelle. I'm with Old Republic Home Protection. I skipped out on work yesterday, took the day off, and I went to Busch Gardens.
Nice.
And I'm telling you this for a reason, because I am 47 years old, and I love roller coasters, and after yesterday, my body's rethinking that. But my goal was to hit all the roller coasters yesterday. Went on 4 immediately, right when I got there. And then I had to sit down and take stock and listen to my body and had to feed my body because it was talking to me. And I thought about it, it's a lot like life. You get on a roller coaster called marriage and it's up and down. And then you get on another roller coaster, it's children and it's up and down. And then you get on another roller coaster, maybe a few in your life, that's a career, and it's up and down. And I thought, wow, a lot of us need to sit down, take stock, listen to what we need for ourselves. And I just want to let you guys know that Old Republic Home Protection is here for you. We have free tools on our website. You don't even have to use us to be able to use these tools. So I want to let you guys know to go
But
to...
you can use us.
No, we can, absolutely. No, if you go to orhp.com, all you need is a login and a password. There are newsletters in there that we put content in there every month, so you can use those. You upload your photo, your logo, your contact information. There's postcards for different occasions you can use in there. So listen to your body, take a breath, use us instead of having to come up with your own stuff. Okay?
Awesome.
I just want to let you know that.
And there's really good stuff there. You know, the marketing information, things you can do, door hangers, all that kind of stuff. If you're looking to do any of that, why reinvent the wheel? They've already got a lot of that there waiting for you. And Janelle and Brian are kind of tag teaming our company now because of the territories split there. So some of you deal
Dallas
with
people in the Newport Richie.
Perfect.
Take care of the
awesome.
Lutz and-
So, and we couldn't have 2 better reps. I'm just telling you, that's perfect. Good deal. Awesome. Colleen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Pauline with Equity National Title. Next Thursday, the 16th, is Coffee with Counsel. I hope I see everybody there. We are in PropLogix Come and Speak. I don't know if you're familiar who they are. They do all of our searches. And they're going to be talking on uncovering unrecorded debt in every real estate transaction. And then Attorney Guju will follow up with some feedback from that also.
PropLogix, by the way, this is Coffee with Counsel. Where is it?
Lucky Dill, US 19, 9 a.m. I buy coffee.
See? And you bring counsel.
Home Harbor. Yep,
You buy
Counsel.
coffee and bring counsel.
I do.
That's why it's called Coffee with Counsel. See? Look at that.
Pretty snazzy, huh?
The alliteration in there. It's called
It's a lot of fun,
consonants.
too.
Very good, very good. Awesome, good deal. Look forward to it.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Janet Shaw with Old Republic Exchange Company. We are a nationwide qualified intermediary for 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. So if you have a customer selling a piece of investment property, maybe a piece of vacant land, single-family home that they're renting out, and they want to use the proceeds from that sale to buy another piece of investment property, they can defer capital gains tax on the sale by doing a 1031 exchange. If you don't know what a 1031 exchange, I'm doing a free webinar on June the 4th at 2 o'clock. If you are in LinkedIn, send me a LinkedIn connection request. I can send you, my name is Janet Shaw, last name is S like Sam, C-H-A-U-M. Send me a connection request and you'll see my webinar information posted. If you want to send me a text message with your email address, my cell phone is 412-389-5606, 412-389-5606. I can send you the webinar information if you send me your email address. So any questions, I'm very responsive to emails, text messages, and things like that. So.
Perfect. And all of our vendors are on our vendor site, okay, portion of our website, futurehomerealty.com. Go to once you log in as an agent, you'll be able to see the resources portion, and you'll be able to see the vendors that are there. 1031 exchanges, I mean, again, remember, these are more tools, right? For you guys to utilize to enhance what you do in your business, right? You don't want to be the expert. What's the term one of my Orlando agents taught me to say is that we shouldn't be the source of the information, we need to be the source of the source, right? So, hey, rather than me be an expert in 1031 exchange, let me just go direct you to Janet, who is, and her company can be the 1031 intermediary, which is necessary to take care of that. Any other vendors that were here other than the ones that are speaking? Yeah, good? No? Good. Perfect. Awesome. Other thing, just remember, too, that build your team, right? That none of these affiliates are affiliated with Future Home Realty, right? We have no ownership interest in each other's businesses, so there's no monetary benefit for me bringing them in other than I want to bring people into the fold that are going to add value to what you do. And these people have proven to me that they're willing to help you build your business. And when that occurs, you usually will reciprocate that by giving them their business as well, all right? Because you want to rely on people that are knowledgeable, experts, and know what you don't know. Fair enough? Speaking of which, so yesterday, we have a grow sessions on Mondays, and I taught a grow session on the use of the FAR bar, what we call standard or regular contract, versus the as is. Right? And in that, the main purpose of that, I'll record that class here soon, but the main purpose of that class was to teach specifically from a listing perspective, when we represent the seller, how we can, you guys, because everybody knows that the as-is contract, which is probably what 98% of the contracts are written on right now, are the as-is contract. I've been around the business long enough to remember that those numbers were flipped. Right? That we used to use the standard contract 98% of the time, and the as-is was an anomaly, right? That there always were repair limits built into the contract, and that's what the standard contract has. The problem with the as-is when you represent the seller is that everybody understands that the as-is a get-out-of-jail-free card for the buyer, right? That the buyer during the inspection period can go shop, find 6 other homes, make other offers, get everything lined up and find a better house they like, and then they go to contract on that one, and then come back to you on 14-day, 11-hour, 59th minute and say, hey, you know what, the buyer's electing to exercise their right under the by the way, that's the verbiage we use when you represent the buyer and they're canceling. The buyer is electing to utilize their rights under the terms of the contract to, at their sole discretion, cancel this contract. period. But where's the inspection? The buyer's electing to utilize their rights under the paragraph to cancel their, to cancel this contract. Yeah, but why? The buyer's electing, right? Seriously. And I say that because we're pointing to the contract. It's not, the contract is what's allowing us to cancel the contract. Are you with me? Right? Things like this. Hey, you know what? The buyer changed their mind. Or the buyer found something else. Probably not what you want to deliver to the listing agent. All right? Even though that's what's happening, I get that. We don't say that. Because as soon as you say that, now the seller bows up, all right, and says, bring it on. I got your money, and I don't care if your contract says you should get it back. You ain't getting it back without my signature because you just done ticked me off, right? Now, don't get me wrong. They're still going to be ticked off. They should be ticked off at their listing agent who allowed them to write an as-is contract and beat their chest saying, I just wrote the best contract in the world because you have no repair limits, right? And without remembering the part that I just negotiated the rights for the buyer to shop for the next 15 days. And find something else, right? So we teach how to utilize the FAR bar standard, put zeros in those repair limits, and it's a huge difference when you represent the seller, all right? So with that in mind, I advertised that. We taught it yesterday, and I'm gonna, like I said, record it, but it brought up a thought that someone found an article written by some attorney that said, hey, look, let's look at the differences in the two contracts. And one of the things, David, if you want to come up, I'll bring up that portion of the contract, that this agent brought it up on Saturday. I was teaching on Monday morning, so I real quickly emailed David over the weekend and said, hey, David, can you give me your take on this sometime before 10 a.m. on Monday when I have to teach this? And and he did. Got back to me 7 a.m., right, yesterday morning. We had a nice little discussion. But there's a portion of the as-is contract that has some verbiage that the regular contract doesn't. Nothing about the repair limits, but down buried further, that was a valid point. So I'll bring that up and you can kind of lead into where we were talking about. So,
All right.
got it?
I got it.
Perfect. It may take me a second to find it.
All right. This is what's called filling. All right. You got somebody who's in charge of logistics and he's trying to fill in some time here. Try to maintain the excitement. All right. So what we're going to show you a provision in the contract. You're going to look at it and say, man, that's a get out of jail free card. Look at this language. And it'll say that, hey, any issue dealing, all right, so we're talking about protection for the seller and the seller's agent, that any issue relating to the condition of the property is hereby waived, all right, waived, gone, all right. So people look at that and they say, well, wow, I can sleep easier at night knowing that whatever condition of the property is waived, all those issues are gone, on to the next thing. Wrong-o. Here we go. All right, look at this. Doesn't this just bring joy to your heart? And if you're on the seller's
First
side.
thing I wanted to do on a Tuesday morning at
That's right.
9:30 is
You bet.
read a portion of the contract. Couldn't wait.
That's right.
I got
That's
out
right.
this morning, out of bed this morning, said I can't wait to go over provision X of paragraph 8.
Man, oh man. Gets my heart pumping. All right, so let's see. To the extent permitted by law, and then of course, what in the world is that? Somebody, obviously an attorney wrote that. Buyer waives any claims against seller and against, look at this, this is your favorite part, right? Waives claims against any real estate licensee involved in the negotiation of this contract for any, what is it? For any damage or defects pertaining to the physical condition of the property that may exist at the closing of this contract and be subsequently discovered by the buyer, anyone claiming through, blah, blah, blah. Now, the next line is the kicker, all right? This provision does not relieve the seller's obligation to comply with 10J. And 10J, and we've all read that many times. Basically,
memorized.
Was that?
10J, I got memorized.
I got it memorized, all right? So, basically, the seller has the obligation to disclose any and all defects which may not be readily apparent that could in some way adversely affect the value of the property. So you're wondering, okay, now how do these things work together? Well, I tell you what, the one that I just discussed in paragraph 10 basically wipes this out. All right? So take absolutely no comfort And I've been involved years ago in litigation where the attorney for the seller made the point that, well, look at this provision. We're home free. We have an affirmative defense that says that all conditions. All right. So what happens is the buyer's side invariably says, hey, you knew about this condition, and you failed to disclose it. All right. I have a case right now where a guy owned investor property. He dealt with some water issues, and he dealt with them. He got a professional in there, took care of them. Now the buyer is saying, we have mold all behind the walls in a different area of the house, and they filed suit, and we're coming after you. And this provision meant absolutely nothing to them, where it says, at first blush, it says, well, wait, you waived all the claims. But the exception that eats the rule, I always love that one, the exception that eats the rule is that if you fail to disclose, if it's a condition that your seller knew about and failed to disclose, then it's off to the races. It doesn't matter that this provision is in the contract. It doesn't matter that the buyer has waived if you fail to disclose. So what's the lesson to be learned? The lesson to be learned is this. Go through that seller disclosure, all right? And if there's anything at all that they tell you about, and it's got to go on that seller disclosure, all right? Because that's your protection. And all this, I'm saying, don't take any comfort in this provision. Take comfort in this, doing the work that you're supposed to do. The work that you're supposed to do is go through each and every condition in the house and have them explain to you what the issues are. You might even go through each, maybe not necessarily walk through each room, but take them through sort of a virtual tour. Okay, now we're in the kitchen. Is there anything? Let's think about this. Because oftentimes people will forget. Well, we had it repaired 2 years ago. We upgraded the shower. There was a leak in the pan, and we upgraded but ask them specific questions about specific rooms, because that is your protection. That is your only protection. Because if something comes up later that they fail to disclose, if you don't have that discussion with them about how important it is, and then send a follow-up email saying thanks, and include in your email that, hey, we went over the seller's disclosure, and we spent however long, and I appreciate you disclosing to me, and we've put every one of those down that you shared with us. We put that on the seller's disclosure. That is protection. This is not protection. Your hard work, putting together the seller's disclosure and a follow-up email, that is your protection.
Awesome. And to that point, thus, we are probably one of the only companies out there that disallows seller never lived in the property disclosures, right? And I know you get them all day long from other companies, right? And we even had one just the other day where the person wanted to utilize, they found one online, says, hey, look, I don't want to fill out your disclosure. I've never lived in this property. I would just rather use this. And I just say, hey, can we use this? The answer was no. We're going to have them fill it out. Because if you read the seller's disclosure, it says to the best of your knowledge, period. If your knowledge is you don't know, or that you have no knowledge, then put that. That's to the best of your knowledge. The only way you can get in trouble is putting no when all of a sudden, under discovery, next thing we know, here comes 3 invoices from the last 2 years on roof repairs, right? With your signature on them, Mr. Seller. Oh, yeah, now you're jogging my memory. Okay, yeah, so the reality is that we do not allow the whole blanket, and the reason I don't do that is because agents who tell their seller, oh, you know what, hey, you never lived here, just sign this and we're good. The problem is you're not good. And this agent is giving this seller a false sense of security that that document is going to protect him or her in the case of a non-disclosure suit, when the reality is, if it can be proven that you knew things about a home, whether you live there or not. By the way, I own investment properties, and I know I've never lived in some of them, but when I go to sell them, I have to tell everything I know about them, all right? Because things happen, and I am aware. And when I'm aware, I still even though yet I've never lived there, right? So you have to be able to disclose.
Do some 1031 exchanges on this property?
You know what? You know, you're talking a tax guy that will listen to you. When we start talking tax savings, I'm your guy. So you can, and if we ever did that, absolutely. Like for like, right? That's all you need to know. It's like for like. Brian.
So this is my, I'm an agent.
Yeah.
In this case, where the guy thought he had a professional come out and repair it.
Yep.
He still has to say, hey, I had this, because he's thinking, you know, if I'm filling a disclosure, I'm thinking it's fixed, right?
Right.
I hired a professional, it's all fixed.
Right.
Why would-
There's nothing to disclose because
Yeah,
it's
nothing
working to the
disclose.
best of my
That's what
knowledge.
I'm wondering. Or
Right.
same way with you know, like a
We preach disclose, 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 over disclose, and you say, hey, look, yeah, it leaked 3 years ago. I had it fixed. Still have the receipts, and it's all good now. Have had no issues since, right? And then yeah, that's a good question though. Okay, good question. Cool. David also.
Let me just follow
Yeah.
up on that. That's an excellent question, and that is the correct answer, because if someone discovers later, a tenant, somebody who lives in the house, they discover, well, there was a leak, and people came to repair, and then, well, wait a minute, the seller never disclosed that to us. It's always better to disclose and say, hey, but I just want you to be aware that there was an issue, because anytime they get the feeling that, well, wait a minute, they withheld this, they didn't tell us.
What else did they not tell us about?
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Right?
right. Yep.
Okay, once a liar, always a liar, right? It just always goes through. So that's their natural thought. Barbara.
Therefore, the flipper homes, they usually say, we didn't live there, we didn't,
Yeah. If anybody knows a lot about a home, it's a flipper.
Yeah, so they should list all the things that they
100% agree.
did, right?
Except
Yeah.
they don't pull permits and they hire unlicensed people, so they're never gonna do that.
Correct. And so you're just going to have to. Therefore, because they didn't pull permits, all right, and you need to know that, that's why you have companies like PropLogix that within 3 days will get you during the permit inspection period, which is essentially needs to be done during the inspection period. If it's an as-is contract, okay, what's that?
And municipal.
Yeah, have them pull the whole thing. I just bought a home last year in Orlando, and I had PropLogix. Even though the title company was hiring PropLogix, I hired PropLogix for $100. Within 3 days, I got a detailed report with a list of it was about 42 things that they found because it was a new home that had never been lived in, and there were open permits all over the place. And I knew that, and I wasn't going to deal with them after the fact because once I own it, right? And I'm going to get these addressed on the front. But the only way I can bring them up is if I bring them up during the proper time periods per the contract, right? So these are all things that you just got to know. Remember our core value number 1 for Q1 this year was to be the most knowledgeable contract agents in the whole country. To know your, if you can't know your contract, then what value are you bringing to your client? And somebody please tell me why you are owed 6% of $300,000 if you're not going to bother reading your stinking contract. Okay? All right? If you're not going to know your contract, then what value do you bring? Period. All right? Core value number 1. Core competency, let's call it that. It's not even a value, it's a competency. Cool? David also owns American Patriot Title. All right? Very great title company. Does a great job. Located?
Corner of Fletcher and Dale Mabry.
In that Carrollwood-ish area?
That's right. That's
right.
right behind Chili's.
All right. Well, look at that. I bet you know it well.
Whoa.
Yeah. Perfect. Mary. Yeah.
If somebody has lived in their home 15, 20 years,
Yep.
how far do you go?
How far do you go back about repairs? That's a good question. 15 or 20 years, hey, you know what?
You could be disclosing so much insignificant issues that would scare the living hell out of the guy.
All right, just sort of extrapolating what we learned earlier in this discussion, you would ask the question, all right, what if any issues have you had with the condition of your property? And then if they say years ago, it's always a better idea, because the standard is what could be known that would adversely affect the value of the property. If it doesn't affect the value of the property, people aren't, buyers aren't going to be upset. So I would disclose, and because there's really no downside risk. If your people have it repaired, and then their inspector can look at it, and then it's all to the better. But the problem is if you have something repaired and they see a problem in another part of the house, and they discover, well, wait a minute, you didn't tell us about this, then that just creates a mindset of, These people are not telling the truth. They're not honest people. You don't want that.
And the reverse of that would be, if you're married to a CFO like I am, all right, when we sell a house, we just provide a spreadsheet that has every item we've done for the last however long we've owned it, right? And rather than scare them, it gives them, in my opinion, a sense of, hey, look, these people pay attention and maintain their homes, right? I'd rather know that, hey, someone, and they have records that back 18 years ago, they painted the entryway, okay? Because it's on the spreadsheet, trust me, all right? Just in case I do 1031 exchange or don't do 1031 exchange, I need to make sure I don't get hit with capital gains.
Just a quick note, sometimes when you're listing a property, let's say you didn't know the person.
Yeah.
You didn't sell it to the person.
Yeah.
You didn't help them buy. It is always so good, I don't know if anybody, people do it, I would imagine some people do it. You go back to the original listing.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much information you can find out.
Sure.
On the attachments.
Yeah. Hey, there was an engineering report attached to that old listing. What happened there?
You got it. And
Right.
engineering report,
Yeah.
And then you confront the buyer and you
Right.
go, do you know about this? Do you have a report?
Yeah.
It is so important to go back to the listing. If
Right.
it's within the reasonable time that the MLS keeps it.
Yep.
It's amazing when you.
One more.
Can I add to
Sure.
And understand that it's not work you're looking at. If you're on the MLS and you have that listing open, all those little icons across the top of the screen there take you to the history, so you can go to the history. You don't have to search by address. While you're in the listing that you're going to write an offer on, you hit history, and it gives you all the history of every time that property's been listed. And all you have to do is click on the ML number that's different than the one you're looking at and pull it up. Same thing with RPR. You hit the RPR icon, it will give you the estimated value. You hit the co-op icon, it gives you the ABM. All those things are all across the top of that property. So it's not a lot of work. It's so easy to get the information that Mary's talking about right from the listing that you're going to make the offer.
And you're so informed when you go to meet the client.
Right.
And if he denies what you have in front of you.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to step away. Yeah, he might deny that he signed the listing agreement too, right? Down the road. So let's fast forward 2.5 months from now and he wants to, yeah. So it's all litmus tests. Do you have something you want to add?
Quick point to make. The standard is what did the seller know? This is an excellent point because when you look at a property, your realtor always shows you the listing. And then, of course, you forget all about the information on the listing. But the first thing that a good attorney is going to do, if you sell a house, they're going to say, well, okay, what could this person have known about this house? One of the better attorneys will look at what the listing was when that person bought the house and say, okay, you had knowledge of all these because it was in the listing, and it's going to be hard for you to deny that. All right, so that's an excellent source of information, number one, for your clients, and also to make sure that might be listed on your seller disclosure.
Perfect. And if the seller refuses to disclose and something you know about, all right, and the seller refuses to disclose, you still have to disclose. If the seller doesn't allow you to disclose, you need to step away from the listing. Right? It's just, it's no one deal's ever worth anybody's license, including mine, most especially mine. All right? All right. And so we are taught to just step away from the listing. And because at the end of the day, we want a reasonable transaction where people can look at it and say, hey, look, you know what? It's a better way to live. Right? It's just to know that I'm selling stuff that I've fully disclosed everything that's gone on. Cool? Awesome. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Awesome. And that was not on billable hours. Can you believe that? That's awesome. Free of charge. I love that. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to mention, I had a transaction which the listing agent at that time, he was the buyer agent before.
From before?
So he got a lawsuit because he knew about a sinkhole which he was repaired.
Right.
However, he told the listing, the seller, don't worry about it. So he got in the lawsuit.
Words that future home agents don't ever use. Ready? Don't worry about it. All right? Okay? Never utter those phrases to a client. All right? Got it?
So he didn't disclose that. What happened, these people bought the house.
Yeah.
The seller had another house across the street, which
Yeah.
they live in, and they talk about it.
Sure.
And that's how the new buyer find out after
Right.
they move in the house. So they got really mad. Everything has been prepared. The guy was able to get everything, all the
Right.
paperwork. However, they sued the guy, and now the guy has to sell the house, has to disclose, and he has to come out with the difference of the house that they're losing money. So he has to bring money to the closing.
Sure, absolutely. It doesn't pay not to disclose. And by the way, how do buyers find out about pre-existing conditions that were not disclosed? Neighbors. 100% of the time, it's always the neighbors. All right? Because
If the neighbor was the seller.
I know exactly. This guy blabbed on himself. It's like, hello, all right. Okay, if you're gonna lie, then maintain the lie, brother. Come on, Jiminy, you'd never be a good politician. All right, jeez, he'd fail early on. So yes, ma'am.
I work with a lot of investors, and when they are doing a fixer-up property, would this be a good suggestion, like what you do, is have them list for me
Why not?
all the things
Yeah.
that they've done on this,
Exactly.
in this house?
Why not? I think it's a selling point. These investors that are afraid of that. Oh, I don't want to tell them. Well, how about if we tell them and use it as a selling point? Hey, there was some rotted wood behind the da-da-da due to some water damage, and I fixed it.
And we'll
right?
just include.
And here are some pictures, and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just include it with
Attach
the
that.
seller's
Absolutely.
disclosure.
Yeah. That's a perfect thing. Good deal. So when we have guys like Rapid Response come out, all right, and they're in there, and the neighbors know that, and after they sell it, hey, yeah, so what happened to you 3 months ago when Rapid Response was out? And the buyer's like, what do you mean Rapid Response? Oh yeah, there were like 4 feet of water in this place.
And then
Oh,
that
what?
homeowner will pull out our report
Yeah.
that we did with Moisture Mapper,
Yeah.
with photos before, during, and after the process. If there was mold, we show before, during, after. We have pre-tests, PRV tests, which are post-remediation verification tests, all in a packet that we hand the customer, which is the home seller
Right.
at that point. And they say, oh yeah, these guys came out and fixed it for me. They flipped through it. Oh, okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so come tell us about what you guys do. That was perfect lead-in to our sponsor for today is Rapid Response. By the way, who knew that a little paragraph could lead to such conversation, right? Can you imagine? There are, how many, 11, 12 pages in this contract? We could talk forever, right? Because, what's that? See, an extra one just because they wanted it, okay. Perfect, see, there you go. Because there's another lawsuit that they had to learn to try and protect against. All right, know your contract. All right, let me get your PowerPoint up here. Let's see if you're ready. No? There we go. There you go. Awesome.
Okay.
You guys introduce yourselves? All right, perfect. Oh, you know what? Here's what you got to do. Whoever's speaking has to hold this. This is not a projected microphone, all right? So it's just going to help us for the online credit.
Okay.
Grab my coffee.
Good morning, everyone. And
Good morning.
Thank you for having us here. Thank you, Maureen. I'm going to actually open with a very serious question. I wanted to know if anybody knew exactly how much a polar bear weighs.
How much what?
A polar bear weighs.
How much a polar bear weighs?
Yeah. What did you say? 1,200. 1,200? No.
Higher or lower?
You're both wrong. Lower.
Lower? 900.
A little more. Okay, you guys are all wrong. The correct answer is enough to break the ice. I know, that was my corny joke. Hello, I'm Vanessa Della Torre, and I've invited some of my team here from Rapid Response, and I'll introduce them in just a moment. First, a little history about Rapid Response team. We've been around for a little over 10 years now, and we're a Florida-focused commercial and residential restoration contractor. For more than 10 years, we've been servicing our Florida policyholders, making us one of the best disaster specialists in the state. Over the last couple of years, we have outgrown our customers' expectations and are becoming more involved in our retail department. What does that mean? It means that not only Rapid Response Team can handle all types of emergency services, as you guys can see here, such as water, fire loss, storm, and mold. We're also a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor. We can handle all your restoration needs. We can restore your property and leave it better than new. Also, we have been recently licensed to do BioClean as well. In any emergency, we're just one call away. If you're a Florida resident or property owner, we can be at your property within 1 hour, guaranteed response time. Each pin here represents one of our emergency locations where there's a technician available at all times, 24/7, 365. At Rapid Response Team, we can take care of everything from start to finish. Our turnkey process is flawless and stress-free. The last thing that you want to worry about after a major disaster or life-changing event is who to call. You can count on us to provide the simplest process for you. Simply a better way. You can contact anybody here on our team. I would like to now introduce you to my amazing team because I couldn't do it without them. This is Mark Money. He's an account exec, and if he has something to say about Panama City, perhaps?
Yeah. One of our 11 locations across the Florida is Panama City, and we're a home team. A lot of national companies come in, they got a lot of work, and as soon as the tornadoes went through Alabama, they took all their resources and equipment and went to Alabama. Left a lot of people high and dry, so to speak, in Panama City. So we're there to help. Pardon?
Not high and dry, low and wet.
Yeah, well, they've dried them out, but now they're in dire needs of restoration and repairs. And so we've taken that role on very significantly up there. We are a major tool in a toolbox of associates for you. Not only do we provide you with emergency service, but we also do a program with renovation loans. So if someone has the home that they think is just about right, but not quite right, you can put them into a product that can get it just right for them and wrap it into the reno loan at the beginning of the process. Have it done at closing, do the repairs, and then they move into the house that they really wanted. So.
And then this is Carly Lambert. She's another account exec for Bradenton. Well, actually the whole state of Florida. You'd like to say anything?
I think the only one thing that I want to add is, obviously we have the whole emergency services side, but as she said, we're a licensed general contractor. So each of our 11 offices all have a full showroom in there. We do a ton of residential kitchen and bath remodels, commercial build outs, really anything from the residential through the commercial spectrum. So when it comes to clients buying properties or selling properties and they want some upgrades and they want it done by a licensed general contractor that's going to give them a fair price. We're not the cheapest guy because we're not working out of the back of our truck, but we are going to give them a fair price to do it right, have all the documentation they need to know that it's done correctly. So they can go to our any of our warehouses anytime and see the showrooms. We have major discounts on cabinetry and different things like that, finishes, to help your client get a good price when it comes to redoing an entire kitchen or bathroom. So something to think about as well.
So, Mr. Money.
Yes.
Okay. What's your first name? I remember his last name.
Mark Money.
Mark.
Mark.
Okay. And we'll call you M Squared. Money.
M Squared.
Great last name. Money.
He's one of the best estimators we have too, so it's good, right?
Estimate.
It's funny how that works.
So you had mentioned like a mold remediation and then kind of coming in, doing the pre, post, giving them a clean bill of health. Do you guys do mold inspections, and if not, do you then go remediate the mold inspection comes up with some issues?
Yes, we are not testers. It's a conflict of interest and technically against the law for us to do testing and the work. If you have a company that comes in, does the testing, and then does the work, they're illegal, really. We can do assessments. We have mold specialists in every office that are certified in mold remediation. We can come in and do inspections. We've done thousands of them, and in most instances, the person doing the inspection has done hundreds of them. And they know where to look, what to look for, and to do any more investigative, possibly invasive investigation if need be. We also have partners that do the testing, so that there's a separation there. They'll come in. It's fairly inexpensive now because there's thousands of them out there. So they can come in, they can do the pre-test, they can write a protocol. We work off of their protocol. We do the remediation, the photographs, the documentation, and the report that we provide, along with the IAQ or the hygienist that comes in to do the testing. And so you have a pre-test and a post-test so that you're insured that everything's done properly. If during the course of that, they find something else somewhere else, then your home owner, seller, or buyer, in either case, can have us in there to be able to take care of those other items also. And then we put it all back after all the documentation that's been done properly. We put it all back. Again, documentation of all the completion and satisfaction, and present it in a folder that this is what happened, and this is the conclusion to what happened. And that happens in all 11 offices throughout the state. If you have clients with assets in other cities, we can help them too in those cities.
There's one thing that I want to add, sorry, and we'll stop, is that we were created by an insurance company. So the difference between us and any of our competitors that do restoration work is that we were created to play nice with insurance companies. A lot of times if a client, I'm sure you guys have had situations because we live in Florida with major storms, where a restoration contractor will come in and overcharge drastically for the work that needs to be done. And then they just expect the insurance claim to raise so that that'll get paid for, or they get whatever they can from the insurance company and then go after the homeowner. And the homeowner has this $20,000 bill for drying out their property. And it's not fair. You know, it really just screws people over at the end of the day. And so, for lack of a better term. And so, because we were created by an insurance company, we are there when the emergency happens, drying out the property, only performing the emergency services that are going to be approved by the insurance carrier. We're meeting with the insurance adjuster on site, coming up with an agreed upon scope and price. We match the scope and price with the insurance company, and the homeowner will never see a bill for extenuating, damages that aren't covered by their insurance claim. So it's an extra protection for your clients, for sure.
Does anyone know what an AOB is?
Assignment of benefits.
It's an assignment of benefits. We do not use an assignment of benefits. What that normally is a paragraph. He's gone.
The attorney?
It's just signing away your rights.
It's signing over your rights to your claim to a company. And that's when they get exorbitant mitigation. They bring a lot of equipment in. They might plug it in, they might not, but they just say it was there and that it was on the property for 10 days. Most dryouts can happen in 3 days or less if done properly. But we don't use an AOB, an assignment of benefits. We don't use contractors that use AOBs. Some roofing contractors use AOBs. So be very careful with your own property or with your properties. If you have rentals or you manage properties, be very careful what kind of a work authorization or a contract for services you use that does, make sure it does not have an AOB. Ask them specifically if there is an assignment of benefits in this contract.
Good news is latest Florida legislature they're on it right now.
They're on it right now.
Yeah.
They're going to make them illegal really quickly, and that'll help curtail a lot of this. But it's something that had to be done 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and they didn't do it.
Exactly.
So, of course, they're there only every other year.
Right.
So, anyway, that's the last of my two.
And Jim has all their information. Any last questions before we let him go? All right.
The Pinellas office that you have?
Yeah, we're in Oldsmar. We take care of all of Pinellas except the southern tip, which Bradenton. We're very fortunate in this area in that we have a Bradenton office that's fully staffed. We have a Tampa office that's fully staffed. So if one can't get to something, the other can. But we haven't had an instance except
where is it?
It's in Oldsmar,
Yeah.
just off of Racetrack and Douglas Road.
That's our location.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, right around the corner, pretty much.
Right around the corner.
Right there.
You're double covered.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Orlando's close too. I mean, if we need to pull resources, that's what happened in Panama City. We staged outside of Panama City because there was an evacuation notice. We staged in Jacksonville. We had, I think, 50 vehicles full of equipment. We had 100 technicians, project managers, emergency service supervisors ready to go in. When they cleared it and the storm went through, I-10 was closed down. We went the back roads and along the way cleared roads so that we could get to the customers that asked us to be there for them. There was some major players up there that knew they were going to have damage, so they asked us to be there as soon as we could get there. And a couple of apartment complexes, we cleared the roads in front of them, we cleared the parking lots, we tarped their roofs, Bell's, department stores, we cleared their parking lots and all of that to help them get back into business as quickly as possible. So they had very little loss of use.
Very good. Information will be on the website, and you guys have some information in the back as well?
And everybody has a little bit of.
All right, some information's in front of you.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Great. Perfect. Good deal. Thank you. All right, so as I mentioned, May is our State of the Company address, like I talked about. We always like to come back, and if you guys have been following on either 100K or Just Us Agents FHR Facebook page. Right now we're in a loop where I'm going through our mission, vision, core principles, principles and beliefs, kind of who we are, bless you, and what we've got going on. I think it's always a good time, May, because we hand out bonus checks. We'll be handing out over $50,000 in bonus checks, all right now. And these are just, bonus checks are, remember, just a thank you to you guys for introducing us to other agents, right? It's our version. Since 1,100 of our 1,400 agents are former Keller Williams agents. I think many understand the profit. It is not a profit sharing, right? I love to point this out because when I created the company, being a former Keller Williams agent myself, when I created the company, it wasn't based on profit sharing because early on I was paying out these bonuses even though we weren't profitable. Right? And if it was truly profit sharing, I'd say, hey guys, thanks for introducing everybody, but we're not profitable, so I get nothing to share, right? That's what profit share means, right? No profit, no sharing, right? It's just kind of the way it works. So, but I was paying these out regardless of profitability. And I love to put, because we pay it out on the top line, right? And so with that in mind, you guys have been, it's a huge resource. Jim gets calls weekly from somebody, hey, I got your number from, right? And I'm interested in taking a look at joining. Now, this is our way of saying thank you. Remember, we don't pay it out on every deal. It's 10% of the $250 fee that we're paid. So, for instance, if you sponsor somebody and they come on board with us, then 10% of their $250 goes to you. Now, we don't write you a $25 check every time they have a closing. We just track it all year long. And then in May, we pay it for the prior year. All right? So this is going to be 2018 bonuses that we're handing out. Does that all make sense? All right? But since we do that, we think it's a good time to remind you about who we are so we can become even more excited about who we are as a culture, right? Because remember, we're one of the 75 largest real estate companies in the United States, all right? That's awesome, okay? That's big news, okay? This is not, this is something that, and that's a testimony to all of you, right? It's our growth that has put this together, right? It's amazing. We're top 3 in the state of Florida. It's just, there's a lot going on with what's happening here. And we just want to remind ourselves that part of the reason we're growing so rapidly is because it's a good place to be, right? It's a good place, safe place for you to conduct your business. That's what we've always tried to create was this. So back in the day, all right, when we decided, here was the mission. Or the vision, I'm sorry. The vision was we're going to revolutionize the real estate agent, become the most agent-centric model in the world. What does that mean? That means rather than start with company productivity at the forefront, right? I was going to start with agent productivity. That I knew if I could help agents become more profitable, that eventually company profitability would come as a byproduct of agent profitability. Jim, Maureen, the rest of our support staff understand this, that we see you guys, our agents, as our clients, right? Our job is to serve you, is to say, how can we make their life easier when they're out there doing the hard work of transacting real estate business, right? And so how do we go about that? So we're going to start from the agent perspective. Because I was an agent, all right, I'm not one of these guys who just, happen to have a trust fund. Trust me, I don't have a trust fund. All right, I'm working hard so my kids will have a trust fund. But right now, I didn't start with a trust fund, so I'm not one of these guys, you know what? I'd like to have a kind of reality show, and I got an extra couple million laying around. Let me buy a real estate company, right? They're out there. We're the people guys or gals that have never transacted business in the world in their life are now owners of real estate companies. You're not looking at one of those guys. And I say this somewhat arrogantly, but you're not going to find another broker who understands real estate better than me, all right? There's comfort in that, right? There's comfort in knowing that I'm not just some guy that's trying to read up on how to transact. I was in the trenches. I understand where you are. I've done what you've done. I get it, right? And so with that in mind, if we start with the agent-centric model, we're going to always look to what's going to help the agent first, right? Second, we're going to focus on agent development, knowing that the sales results that you guys will get will be a byproduct of your growth, right? And your development as individual people. And as you remember, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later, that we're going to focus on agent development doesn't necessarily mean knowing the contract, which is part of it, right? That's part of the core competencies we like. But more importantly, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial, and intellectual growth. We're going to help you in those 5 areas. Those are the 5 key areas we always like to do it. We put them in this order generally. We want to help you grow spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, physically. Actually, we want to help you shrink physically, but that, you know what I meant. All right. Okay, but not grow physically, but you know what I mean, all right? Okay, we're going to grow in our physical aspects of how we treat our bodies and how we treat ourselves, right? Okay, so we're going to help in those 4 areas. And those 4, we believe, when we grow properly in those 4 areas, it will be, the end result will be the 5th LY called financially, right? That financial growth comes as a byproduct of the other 4 growths, right? So we're going to help you do that. So that's always been the vision, okay? Then from that, we created the mission. The mission's always been this. Future Home Realty exists to provide real estate agents the most profitable, effective, efficient place to run their business. That was the mission statement that I created in 2004. It hasn't changed. That's why I have it memorized, all right? That's why the beauty of this PowerPoint, it's never hard for me to create this one because it doesn't change, right? Our vision's never changed, our mission hasn't changed, and neither have our core beliefs, right? Is that our goal, all right, our mission is to provide you with the most profitable, effective, efficient place to run your business. Because you guys understand you're running your own business, right? Okay? It's your business, and our role is to help you run your business in those 3 areas. Profitable, effective, efficient, right? So that profitable means giving your money back when you earn it, right? That's part of it, right? Effective means we're going to put systems in place, right? And also train you and to give you the skills and the tool sets that you will need to help you affect and transact real estate business, all right? And efficient means more of systems and things that will make your life easier, getting paid at closing, making sure that there's clearly defined checklists so we're not surprising you on things you need. No one should be surprised when you try and deliver a seller never lived in the property disclosure, right? Okay, we're trying to be very communicative on the front side to allow you to do that, right? So that's always been our mission. Then we get into the core values, which builds these, all right? Integrity, okay, we start and we lead with that one because if you lose it, you ain't getting it back, right? That's a tough one to go through, guys, right? And that you don't need to, again, if you read it, these are on our website, by the way. This matters most. Without it, you need not waste your time attempting to conduct business, deal honestly and fairly with all people at all times. We expect honesty from our team members. You will never have to, these people that are habitual liars, all right, are very intelligent. Because it takes a lot of intelligence to remember, hey, well, I told Jim this, but I told Maureen that, and you know what I mean? You got to keep your story straight. The truth is just easier to remember, right? If you just tell the truth, that way after a minute, hey, what did I tell Colleen? And that's the same thing I really told, over here. So, it's a matter of doing that. So integrity is key. Here's the beauty, and Jim and I say this when if agents meet with us to look at joining us, right? Is Hey, $35 a month, $250 a deal, $4,000 cap. Sounds awesome from an agent perspective. But the beauty of it is it really works real well from the broker owner perspective as well. They're like, what? How do you, because a lot of the people come to us all the time, how do you do it, right? How do you make, you get that question, Jim? Okay, all the time. It's right, yeah, that all sounds great, but how do we know you're gonna be around next year? Because how come my other company had to take 42,000 and you can do it for 4, right? What's the deal? And the answer is A, volume, right? B, systems, being efficient, not wasting money on things and so on and so forth. But the answer on this part of the integrity is the beauty of a $4,000 cap, and it sounds a little harsh when we say it, is that, and this is the harsh part, so don't take it wrong, the most any agent's really worth to me is $4,000 a year. Okay? So the reality is that I'm not tempted to keep a negative attitude, cancerous, person lacking integrity, kind of person walking on the wrong side of gray, right? Person around, right? Because they can do more damage to our logo, all right, than the $4,000 they'll ever bring in. Are you with me? And so with that in mind, it's a real easy conversation to have to say, hey, look, you know what? Now, don't get me wrong. That's the way I'd love to think that I have so much integrity myself that even if you're paying me $40,000 a year, I'd still tell you to hit the bricks if you were a jerk, right? But the problem is I'd probably think about it 10 times longer, right? Okay, John, you know what? You're kind of walking on the edge there, brother, but boy, you're worth $40,000 on my bottom line. Yeah, you know, we'll overlook this one this time, right? But when it's only $4,000, I'm not even tempted to keep that around, right? Because we tell people this all the time. The clients do business with the agent, not with the company, correct? However, people may not do business with a client, with an agent because of a company. If a company allows its reputation to wane. So you're going to find that Jim, I, Maureen, we are vicious in our protection of our logo, right? And I do that not as a threat to anybody, but it's a promise to the good apples that I'm not going to let a bad apple in spoil our barrel. Are you with me? So you always have that promise from us, all right? But because we promise that to you, we expect it of you, because that's how we keep our integrity as a group, is that we just do the right thing. Okay, fair enough? All right. Next, personal growth. We already talked about this. We want people that are going to grow, right? That are going to know their contract, that are going to not just expect because they throw a sign in the yard, they pass the test, that they're owed a $18,000 commission, right? You have to earn that. That's a lot of money. I've done a lot of things for $18,000 in my life that took many hours, longer than throwing a sign in the yard and writing up a contract. So if I'm going to expect to be paid that kind of money, I need to expect of myself to be knowledgeable in the field of which I consider myself a professional. Fair enough? So we're going to constantly look to grow, right? Those kind of agents we seek. Discipline. Success is not easy. It takes a disciplined approach on a daily basis to achieve success. Be willing to pay the price, right? Don't expect something for nothing. Those of you that are members of the 100K, we talk the law of the harvest a lot, right? That we can't expect to harvest if we can't expect to reap if we're not willing to sow. Fair enough? And so in order to reap, we must sow. We know we can't cheat that system. So we've got to be willing to put in the work and be disciplined in what we need to do it. Excellence, provide excellent service, go the extra mile, do nothing half-heartedly. Never let "I tried" be an excuse for life. By the way, Jeanette and I have been married for over, I don't know, what's this year? Long time. 1990, okay? Be 29 years this year? 29, yeah, okay, that's right, yeah, she doesn't want. Okay, it's 28 going on 29, be 29 in August, right? So if you think anything's are new, all right, this whole idea, never let "I tried" to be an excuse for lack of results, that's just stuff I heard from 1990 on, right, okay? This is just stuff that I'm just repeating what has been said to me on a consistent basis. But it's true. If a task can't be started with an expectation of excellence, then don't start it at all. Do not go halfway, right? Your clients deserve better, right? And so because of that, we are going to be, the company is known as that we are not going to be the halfway company, right? We are going to do it or not do it, right? Are you in or you out? Okay, fair enough? Pay it forward. We're big on this. The pay it forward concept is like, instead of give back to the community, instead of giving back, why don't you go do it in advance, right? Because the more we pay it forward, right, it comes back to us. We all know that, right? We want to be leaders in our community. Now, I'm a big fan, if you guys know my religious and or political, sometimes they get mixed, stances, that I'm a huge believer that the needs of our needy and people that are in dire straits needs to be taken care of by us and private industries and nonprofits, right? It's a waste of money to give money to the government, give $1 to the government, and then have 2 cents of that dollar get it back to the needy, right? It's much more effective to give $1, and then that way I can monitor who I give that dollar to say, hey, look, are you using it? They have some overhead, right? But I want to see somebody that's throwing 93, 94% of their donations back to the actual needy, all right, and running their corporations, nonprofits, their corporations, on 5 to 6% overhead rather than having the role switched, right? So with that in mind, okay, we want to be known as people that give back, all right, or pay it forward, as we like to call it, okay? Teamwork. All right? By the way, you guys do a great job of all this. This one in particular, I am constantly amazed at how well we do here. All right? Our agents really band together. All right? It's from groups that have been put together, kind of from the jammers, right? That kind of help each other out. They're like a subset of each other. They just kind of, how many guys members now, technically?
We have about 30.
Yeah.
Photo with Bob after the meeting.
Okay, all right, but Jay Jammers, they have their own little group. It's like a mastermind group that they meet on a monthly basis. But in addition to that, I love seeing they have their own little Facebook page, and there's I'm an honorary member of that, and I just will see every once in a while, hey, I'm stuck, my kid's doctor's appointment ran long, can someone go show a property for me? Boom, they're helping in. It's that type of attitude, no questions asked, okay, that allows us, because the help you give today is the help you get tomorrow. We understand that, right? The answer you help somebody with today is the answer you get tomorrow. And that culture of what we call the abundance mentality, which means there's plenty for all right, means that it's an easy way for us to help each other grow our businesses, because the reality is, the people who do business with Irma are a totally different subset than the people who do business with Tom, right? My math teacher and me coming along, right? That Venn diagram with those concentric circles, when they start to overlap, that sliver is so small that it's so infinitesimal that it doesn't really matter. So therefore, there's no fear in Irma helping Tom and Tom helping Irma, because neither one of them is losing business. Matter of fact, they're both actually gaining business by doing so, right? And that's the culture we want to promote around here, is that we're always willing to give, okay? Professional standards. National Association of Realtors, our local boards are very clear on our code of ethics and how we transact business, right? It's essentially, the golden rule is part of our code of ethics in essence, right? By the way, do you also know the code of ethics basically says there's a competency, that we are ethically bound to our clients to actually know what we're doing, all right? Which includes knowing our contract, knowing how to evaluate property, all these kind of things that are, things that we should be able to do and do well, all right? Or know how to go get the answers to need to be there, all right? But golden rule is not a bad one to live by, all right? Don't know what that is? Look it up. You don't know what it is at your age? You've had a hard life, all right? Okay, all right. Responsibility, there's no great, except for AJ. AJ's young. AJ, raise your hand, all right? Ain't a good looking dude? I see, I rail against having, people on, your face on billboards. You don't need it, but that's a face that needs to be on a billboard, don't you think? All right? Have him representing us. I can see with his jacket thrown over his shoulder, all right? Let Team AJ do it for you. Hey, if anybody needs to do it, it's him, all right? Responsibility. This is a good one. This is one that people don't like to hear. This is very un-American, right? There's no greater business than repeat and referral business. In order to get that, clients must be satisfied with their transaction. When mistakes happen, and they will, admit them and fix them. Do whatever it takes to make it right. Okay? It's called personal responsibility. That when you screw up, own it, fix it, and you'll get more business because of it. That's just a fact, right? Some of the best business I ever get was when I actually screwed up and owned up to that screw up and said, hey, you guys, you know what? My bad, all right? But I told you, and here's what happened. I could give you a list of 42 excuses, right? My kid had strep throat, I did soccer practice, and the fact is you missed it, right? And if you miss it, you miss it, and you own up. But some of you, I'm looking around the room, we've dealt with situations right before, right? And you guys know that when you're right, I'll defend you to the nth degree. And when you're wrong, I'll tell you, and I'll say, hey, look, you know what? It's time to own it, right? It is what it is. The good news is that when it costs you money, you remember those lessons, right? Those are the ones you remember the best, are the ones that cost you more money, right? So fair enough, all right? So responsibility is a big one. And then finally, we end with win-win. Seek transactions. Now again, you guys also know that I'm a big single agency guy, that I like representing, and I teach that we can represent our clients with veracity, right, without being an a-hole. There's a fine line there, right? You can be a vicious defender of your client's rights, right, without alienating everybody else inside the transaction. But with that being said, what you do is you just point to the contract with a smile on your face and say, no, we're sticking to our guns. The contract says everybody agreed to this and we're right, period. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it is what it is, right? We're right, and we're going to do that. Yet we can still do that in a win-win situation, right? All you do is point out to the other agent. I've done it in my career hundreds of times. Like, well, I'm not so sure that, my seller doesn't want. I said, well, the time that they say your seller doesn't want was 38 days ago when we were negotiating the contract, right? We're now 2 days before closing, and it doesn't really matter what your seller wants because the contract says, right? And I'd be saying the same thing there. So seek, though, situations where, now I'm not saying, but trust me, you wouldn't have wanted to negotiate with me, all right, on the other side of a transaction because I was going to viciously protect my client's interest in a situation. But at the end of the day, I didn't do it with malice in my heart. I just did it in case seeking a situation, not trying to take advantage of anybody, but we can still do that to a win-win end. Are you with me? All right? But it also doesn't mean, hey, we're going to be softies and just roll over, right? Let's just be win-win. Well, okay. My answer to that was if a seller was in a situation because they hired you instead of me, shame on them. All right? They should have just hired me from the get-go and we wouldn't be here. All right? But that's all right. All right. Cool? All right? Questions there? All right? By the way, again, Jim, Maureen, anything you want to add? Okay, by the way, I got to say, we are blessed with our support staff. All right? I call them support staff. They're support partners, right? Maureen, how long has it been? I've been married to Jeanette 29. Maureen is...
2001.
Yeah, so with, 19 years.
Yeah.
Okay? Our turnover ratio is minimal, right? We just don't... we just got great people. Jim comes, his wife, okay, so here's a story, Jim, okay? Here's the story of Jim and I. Jim's wife, Renee, and my wife, Jeanette, worked together at Outback at the corporate level for many, many years. And so, but Jim, you've been with us long. Back there, they always hand out like boomerangs, right? Golden boomerangs. Yeah, for your pins, like every 5 years, you get a boomerang, and then a double boomerang, and a triple boomerang. So how many boomerangs would you have with us? How long have you been with 05? Yeah, so 13 years. So we've got a good, steady group here, right? Know that, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're continuing to grow. I've got growth analysis in my spreadsheet. Did I tell you I'm married to a CFO? All right. I've got spreadsheets till 20 whenever, all right? Long before, I'll be in the grave probably is what the spreadsheets say. And we're just here for the long haul. We're excited about what's going on. I think we shared with you the growth that's happening in real estate. Remember, I with all the naysayers, everybody says, hey, we're losing all our business to OfferPad. And a couple months ago, I showed you that they control about 1.1% of the marketplace. I mean, that's all of them. OfferPad, who are the others? Opendoor, okay. All right. And who are they really stealing business from? They're stealing business from the guys who send me the yellow postcards every week on the rental properties that I own. Hey, Bob, I'll buy your home today. And it looks like it's handwritten, but it's really not, all right? Okay, because they went to a seminar and taught them how to do this, right? And it's what they do. And, so that's who they're stealing the business from, is that they're getting that business directly from them. all right? By the way, if anybody, when you go on a listing presentation, everybody says, hey, look, do you have an iBuyer program? The answer is yes. If you're willing to sell your home for 18% below market value, I will find you a buyer tomorrow. Trust me. I mean, seriously, because that's what they're saying, by the way, right? But that's what an iBuyer, oh yeah, but so-and-so is offering an iBuyer. Okay, if you're willing to sell for that, give me 24 hours, I'll find somebody. I don't care. I'll just start rifling through the phone book, all right? Start with the A's. I'll find somebody before I get down the first column that is looking for, that is willing, that has cash to pay for a home that's 18% below market value in today's market, right? So the answer is yes. Do you have an iBuyer program? Yes. If you're willing to give it away, yes. All right? By the way, call me first before you start calling the phone book, all right? Because if it's 18%, I'll talk to you, all right? And we'll be in business. Cool? Fair enough? All right? Let's hand out some checks. So we don't hand, we have, how many checks? There's a lot of checks. You guys are continuing, there's like 250 checks to hand out. I don't have all 250 here. Maureen has some. If you think you're owed a check, remember these are from 2018, people that you introduced to us anytime prior to 2018. Remember, we pay these once you recruit somebody and they're on board with us, as long as you both maintain your relationship with Future Home Realty, you get paid this bonus every year after year after year. Now, here's the other thing, being that 1,100 of you are former Keller Williams agents, it's not $78 million, all right, or whatever, okay, that they promote, that they pay out every year. First of all, remember this, and I as a broker will self-admit, how does a real estate brokerage make money? Anybody? A brokerage. How does a brokerage make money? We take it from the agents. Everybody understands that? It's kind of like the government, right? Okay? Okay? The government doesn't make anything. The government takes, right? So when Keller Williams promotes it, hey, we paid out $71 million in profit share, well, how did they get that profit to share, right? They first took it from the agents, right? Same thing here, right? I'm giving you back a portion of what you've given me. I totally will, at least I'm honest enough to admit it, right? That I'm taking back, but it's the best 10% that we'll ever spend because you guys do deals with agents I don't know, right? And you introduce us to other agents that we don't get to deal with. And our job is to create such a culture that you feel comfortable introducing us to some of your friends, all right? That's our whole role. So we have the top 5. So you're never going to go, people ask us, oh yeah, but at Keller Williams I could retire. Well, the slim number of agents who retire on their profit sharing is small, okay? All right? We say, hey, take the difference in their $21,000+ cap and the $4,000 cap, take that 17 grand, let's just call it 17, and reinvest that on your own, portfolio. That's how you retire, right? Not trying to, recruit, all right? But that being said, I got the top 5. So number 5 happens to be here. We don't usually get the people here, all right? But he's getting a check. By the way, it's a good time. May is a good time. MLS dues are due. Is that right? All right. Let me pay your MLS dues. All right. Today is? 15th. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. I think I paid mine already. I'm way ahead of schedule. Okay. But hey, I'll pay your MLS dues and your board dues. Just recruit agents. All right. Let me reimburse you right now. All right. Henry White in the room. All right. Number 5. $920.70, $920, all right, which is nice, all right? Remember, he only paid us $4 grand, so I'm giving 25% of his money back. Holy cow, what do you want? Can't give you. And here's the deal. You'll get a list at the bottom of all those who we have you on record as having sponsored. Now, to Jim's defense, we let the agent, when they come on board, decide who their sponsor is. Is that correct? All right? It's like, hey, who do you feel, well, I know 15 of you, of the agents here. Well, who do you feel was instrumental in helping you come on board? And we leave it up to them, not up to us. So if there's somebody you think should be there, just check with Maureen, I guess. Check with Maureen if there's somebody there that's not there. So thank you very much. Thanks for the introductions, brother. Appreciate it. All right, keep it up. Absolutely. Nice job. Number 4, she's not here, is Yvette Ramos. Yvette's been with us. She's getting a check for $1,039.04. All right, not bad. Again, that'll pay her MLS dues and her board dues. All right, take care of that. Tracy Wilkinson, $1,141 on the nose. That's only 4 agents that she sponsored, and she gets $1,141 back. All right. Pretty good deal. She just had pretty good agents that she sponsored. Darla, she's not here. She's usually here to pick up her check. Darla is number 2. She's had a lot. Now, Darla, $1,215.67. All right, which is awesome, and she's getting that amount back. Darla was the first agent at Future Home. All right, back in 2004. She'll gladly tell you that. Our single-digit agents are very, very proud of their single-digit status. Right, I was one of the first 10. Right, and that were there. And Darla is the very first one who came over from Keller Williams. And then this guy came out of the blue, must have sponsored some people. I don't think he's been on the list recently, but he's out of there now. And if you guys know him, it's called Let's Get It Sold. All right, John Brokalakis, $1,824.88 coming back. All right, not bad, not better than a sharp poke in the eye. All right. And John's a great guy, by the way. He's a hard worker, fantastic job. He and Janina always fight over who gets to cap first every year, right, Janina?
Yep, I've been second or third year in a row I beat him.
Yeah.
He still owes me a dinner,
All right, you hear that, John? Several dinners, I think, yeah, because there was a couple bets. Yeah. All right. John, pay up. You get that? All right, let's watch that. He's got money to pay up now. How about this? I'm going to just sign this over to you. All right? Okay? I want you to dangle. Say, hey, John, you give me dinner? That's when you get your check. All right? You can hand it to him. That's right. See? That's perfect. And actually what Janina does, Janina writes us a $4,000 check on January 1st every year. So she says she caps first. So, and does it, which is great. And they both do it. So anyway, that being said, we are grateful. We really are, truly, for A, who we are, and B, and we covet your referrals, okay, your introductions to other agents, because you guys know agents better than we do, and you know the type of agent we're looking for better than we do, right? So don't give us bad apples, because we'll eventually weed them out. All right, here's what we say. I'm very politically correct. You know, Jim, there appears to be a cultural disconnect in how you transact your business and the way we would like to be perceived in the marketplace. All right, but what I'm saying is, you're a jerk, you're killing my business, get the heck out, right? Okay? And we aren't afraid to do that because that's our commitment to you guys, the good agents, that we're not going to allow that to happen. Cool? All right? Exciting times, keep digging in. Historically, because I tell you I was married to a CFO? All right? Okay? Historically, our numbers tell us.
You want to make sure you never forget.
That's right, exactly. All right. Historically, our numbers tell us that starting in April, and it's bearing out again, April, May, June, July, historically our busiest transaction months. So now is the time to continue to hunker down, go get the business while other people are planning their summer vacations and doing other things. It is out there. There is fruit on the tree. Don't let it rot on the tree while other people are hanging around, letting it just fall to the ground. It's there. Tom you was telling me you had an open house the other day, right? And how many people through, Tom?
12 on Saturday, 7 on Sunday, and got 2 sales out of it.
2 sales. One, someone is buying the home that he was sitting, and is already working with the buyer from that. So he said, I don't know what to do. I'm not busy. I don't know. If I can't afford to buy $10,000 a month in Zillow leads, I'm done, right? Go sit at an open house, all right? People are out there.
I got to tell you one more story.
Yeah.
I got a call yesterday when I was at a technology committee meeting at GTR from a fellow that I've known probably since the 70s. We were both in the architectural design business, both in the same organization, have stayed in touch with each other because I've retired from that field and retired from general contracting and got into real estate, and I've been doing that now 32 years, okay? So I get a call and he says, I see this house, I want to buy it for my son. I called him on the way back to my home office, pull up the information, called him last night. We're meeting at noon today to write a contract. Okay? I mean, this is a person out of past, but the key is keep in touch with all your old friends. Okay?
That's right. Absolutely. Stay in touch. Go meet new ones. If you don't have any old friends, or if your old friends are broke, go meet some new ones. All right? Just, if you're like, okay, then just go do it. Mary.
Just a quick note.
Yeah.
I'll follow up on that. I sent something out to my former clients on Sunday, and like 10 minutes later, I got an email from a client that had sold something on 06.
Yeah.
Okay, I did a 1031 exchange. He wants to sell now his home that I sold it to him over $1 million. And I got also a call like 2 weeks ago, a lady that I had gone to the home in 2010 to list her home. Of course, 2010 would have been a short sale for them. And she called me back, and she gave me her son, her other son, and her property. And I got the property and her son. It was 11 showings and 1 offer.
It's called follow-up.
In 4 days.
It's stay in touch. It's, you know what it is?
You never know.
It's called activity. Okay? If you want stuff to happen, do something. There's a deep thought, right? Okay, you ready for this one? Okay? If you want change to occur in your life, change. Right? There's a deep, I can be your Confucius. Come to me, oh wise man on the hill. Right? Okay? Right? Okay? All right, okay, yeah, right. Okay. It's just, the reality is activity breeds activity. But inactivity breeds inactivity, right? And there will be no harvest if you do not sow. Okay, so just go to work. All right, social media, the go period, to period, work period. All right, hashtag go to work. All right, hashtag. All right, have a great day. Thank you again. If you have checks, come check with Maureen. All right, have a great day. Oh yeah, Tom, one last.
The Greater Tampa Realtors is going to have their Tech Expo in September. Keep a lookout for me posting it on all our different Facebook groups and so forth. But we're going to cover the new exact program that the GTR members are getting for free for the first year. We're going to cover all of the video blogging and YouTube channel information. We're going to cover both of the contracts, both the transaction desk form simplicity contracts.
Perfect.
We're going to also cover the IMAP tax information, because those of you that are not using IMAX are making a big mistake. Okay, because it's unbelievable if you know how to use it, and other things. And we'll list them all on the situation. And then this, I can't remember the date now. I think it's around the 14th. Just look at the post in the Greater Tampa Realtors Association Facebook page. HomeSnap has made an upgrade, and it does a lot more for you now than it did before. And we're having a tech user group meeting at Alice Hall up in the Zephyr Hills area. And you just have to sign up to come. It's free. They serve you pizza and soft drinks afterwards.
Perfect. What's that?
Next Tuesday will be the...
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah.
All right,
Next
perfect.
Tuesday.
Hey, last thing I have is, can you do me a favor? Stack chairs 8 high. Stack the chairs 8 high. If you want to stick around and fold tables with us, that'd be great. All right? Stack chairs 8 high. Thanks. Have a great day. Go see if you get your...